great white shark, and a penguin wearing waterproof goggles. 4 very real sea otters flanked Anil and poked the probes with their wet noses. Alex scratched their ears and under their bristly chins. The otters had been crucial in rescuing the water dragon and had stayed close by ever since, earning him a lot of funny looks as they trailed him around town like a troop of bodyguards. "We need to launch the probes further out." Zoe turned to Alex. "Do you think you can try again?" With the dragon by his side, Alex had used his newfound power to save the world. But the water dragon had been injured in the final battle against Ray's Callus and had gone out to sea to recover. Nobody had seen it since. Now, by himself, Alex could hardly rally a current strong enough to carry a tiny probe. "I can take the probes." Anil took advantage of Alex's hesitation to snatch up the nearest egg and splash into the water. "I need the practice. My dad says I have to get quicker to stand any chance of qualifying for the championship." Anil had believed he was the greatest swimmer alive until he started competing in races and rarely managed to finish in the top 3. The local championship was fast approaching, and Anil's dad was coaching him to win. Holding the probe made swimming awkward, but Anil kicked stubbornly through the water, determined to carry the egg far enough to be claimed by the currents. A dolphin leaped from the water, chattering playfully as it cut a glittering arc over the boy's head, and splashed down alongside him. Not long ago, the water of the bay had been poisoned so that no animals could live there, and tourists had stopped visiting the town. The water dragon had wielded every last drop of its power to dissolve the pollution. Many of the animals who had joined the rescue effort stayed behind and now called the bay home. Dolphins were frequently seen skipping through the waves, seals lounging on sun-baked rocks, schools of fish shimmering like treasure beneath the surface. Tourists had returned in force too. The summer was over, but the high street on top of the sea wall behind them still bustled during the day. The multicoloured guest houses further up the hill still fully booked. At the peak of the hill, where they had sprung the water dragon from the old aquarium that had become its prison, wind turbines were being built to provide the town and beyond with plentiful green energy. Haven Bay seemed more alive than it had for a long time. Nobody could deny this was good for the town. Alex's family owned the Neptune's Bounty tourist shop, and business was so strong that Alex's dad had gone away to meet new suppliers. But it also meant that Alex, Zoe and Anil had to constantly patrol the beach to pick up litter and stop people bothering the animals so they could take a selfie. Last week, they'd stopped a man from trying to ride one of the seals. The probes would allow them to keep a close eye on the bay and make it easier to keep everybody safe and happy. The influx of tourists had led to other problems too. Random junk kept being stolen from Mr. Wu's boatyard, and last week the antique cannons arrayed decoratively along the sea wall had gone missing in the night. It was all so difficult for Alex to practice his newfound powers without being observed. Although the locals knew about the water dragon and the magic it had given him, hardly any of them had actually seen him use it. Alex wanted to keep it that way so he could practice without any pressure. He also remembered the last thing Callus told him before he was swallowed up by a raging waterspout summoned by the dragon. "Keep your powers hidden. There will be others who will try to take them." In the last few weeks, Alex kept sensing he was being watched. An old man with a thin white moustache and wire-framed glasses lingered in the corner of his eye, sun hat brim pulled low as he peeked around a corner or through a window. It made Alex feel constantly under threat. The fears piled up inside him until the worst of them all spilled from his mouth. What if my powers aren't enough? Zoe looked up from where she was tinkering with a probe. Enough for what? Alex swept a hand across the bay. To protect this place. He wanted to say, to protect my friends, but worried she would find it too sappy. Maybe I'm not strong enough. You've had superpowers for like 5 minutes, Zoe scoffed. She dropped a probe into his hand. Its shell was painted with a chubby-cheeked stingray. Try again. Alex held the probe tightly in both hands and waded back into the sea. This time Zoe went with him, despite being fully dressed.